Hi lovers, welcome to the Power Couple podcast with Dalama and Gamkhelo.
This is a platform where we celebrate love, marriage and life through fun yet thought-provoking conversations.
So join in, share your views and let's have real talk. What's up everybody? Welcome to the Power Couple podcast.
What's up everyone? Trust that you are doing well and enjoying the load shedding. In case you've forgotten, we are on level 1 lockdown, stage 2 load shedding.
And without water.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting week, but we still thank God nonetheless.
Praise God. Okay, so if you are a new listener, please, let's make this relationship official by simply clicking on that subscription button, as well as on YouTube. On YouTube, guys, don't forget to follow us on YouTube as well as our Instagram page.
Yep, no secret admirers allowed. Please, as my wife said, let's make it official.
Okay, so let's get into today's episode. So today we'll be talking about being the ride or die type of partner.
That's quite loaded, eh? And I'm quite excited to delve into it. And I think it's a statement that we often throw around loosely. And I really think more often than not, we don't appreciate the depth of or the weight that it carries, eh? When you call yourself a ride or die.
I think, as you're saying, like sometimes we just say it without really putting much emphasis on the dying part.
Yeah.
Because we just say it simple as, you know, you are my ride or die, but it's mainly emphasized on the good experiences or the good things that happen in the relationship.
Yeah, very true. And I mean, just to give a bit of context, and I mean, we'll share quite sensitively so as well our journey, and it's been quite interesting. And I always say to you, babe, that I thank God that even though we are not where we desire to be yet, but we are not where we used to be. And I think that's quite key in that alone, is that, in as far as we are on a journey, and exactly what it is, marriage, and this partnership, it's a journey, it's not a destination, it's a lifelong journey, but in that we really always need to ensure that we are celebrating progress in the process, if I can call it that. So yeah, I think just to share a bit of a glimpse,
Story time.
Yeah, we've been together for
Almost
married
9 years.
for 9 now. Yeah, so we are a month shy of 9 years. So married for 9, and we've been together for how long?
10 years.
Can't be.
10,
We've
11.
been together for
11
years.
Jeez.
So for a change, the husband gets it right. So, and I remember when we started off, right? And I used to work. So we owned a funeral company. So I used to call it what it is. I used to be an undertaker. I used to work as an undertaker, and I would drive. I remember I would drive Hash, and it was interesting. And even in those days, and that's what really, I think, confirmed to me that you were the ride or die kind of partner, because I mean, you were in high school and you were actually not embarrassed of me
Nope.
collecting you in that. It was hideous, to be honest.
It was. It was green. It was big. It was just shady.
Yeah. So it was military. So, and I mean, the fact that, I mean, I used to carry dead people in that thing. And,
Don't put it that way.
okay, I didn't used to carry dead people. I transported them. Yeah, talk about Final Destination. Anyways, okay, I don't mean to make fun of it, but you know, I think while a lot of girls would have wanted to be seen in your pass and everything like that, and I remember there was a time where you actually asked that I collect you from school, and it was, I mean, right after school had what do they call it, come out, for lack of a better word, and it was packed, and I remember I parked outside by the road, and you're like, no, why you parked outside, come in. I'm like, I'm driving a hash. Okay, so
it has 4 wheels.
So yeah, but I think just going through the journey, you know, I mean, fast forward, then I got an opportunity around Mpumalanga, and I had to stay in well, we call it a quarters.
Yeah. It had a toilet. I wouldn't say bathroom. It had a toilet outside, and it didn't have a kitchen. So we basically bought, and this was immediately after our wedding. Nobody knows this, guys. So fine. I actually
stayed there before we got married, because I think after our wedding, it was only a month that we stayed there.
Yeah. I was staying in Midrand then. All right. So after the wedding, we went straight to Tonga, and man, the living condition, babe. It was sad. Like, it was so sad. So there was a toilet outside. It didn't have any kitchen, right?
Yeah, it was basically
we basically cooked from the floor. We had a 2-plate. What else? We bathed tikamuskotlelong. Now imagine having a fancy wedding, right? And then all of a sudden we head out to Kotas.
You know, I'm actually thinking,
we spend so much money and then we go for Kotas.
I'm actually thinking for our, and I do apologize to make racial reference, but I have to, for our white subscribers, and they're probably thinking, yes, what's a Kotas? So, like, and I'm trying to find a way. So it's basically like it's a room, a 6x4 meter room, 4 walls, and you've got you've got imaginary demarcations for bathroom and your bedroom.
Babes,
and
let's
your
put it this
kitchen.
way. It's open plan.
Yeah. Call it a bachelor, but the only thing is that it's only that one room. And it's like literally 6x4 meters, so it's very tiny.
And we slept on a 3/4 bed.
Yep.
Oh my God. So, this brings back memories.
But you know, the interesting part is that even during that time, and I guess it also speaks to our faith, but I think more than it being just around faith, but if you are not partnered in that level of faith, then it becomes very difficult for you guys to actually understand the process, you know. And when I say it speaks to our faith, I mean, even then, we were in this environment, but the environment didn't influence what we saw, you know. And it is rather what we saw in our mind that influenced our environment, that because of the vision that we had, you were still content in that moment, because you could understand that, you know, this yes might be a part of the journey, but it is by no means where we envisage to end up, you know. And I think that's really what kept us going in that phase, if I can call it that.
I think for me, I trusted you more than anything, despite the whole situation. Because even after that, moving back to Groblersdal, we had to stay at home. So Kamo had to move in with us. Well, we had to move back home into my home. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so he moved in, And there was a lot of things that obviously we didn't think about when planning the wedding, about our after, where we're gonna live, like just basically settling down, like where exactly we're gonna settle down and whatever. But like I loved your vision.
Yeah, I remember, sorry to interject. It just actually came to mind during that point where I had to move in a back,
Cottage.
it was a cottage, not a cottage anymore. Move into the cottage at your house, and I remember there were some colleagues of mine where I used to work, and lightheartedly so, that were making fun of the situation and actually calling me Omakoti. And again, I think it comes from cultural or traditional expectations, if I can call it that, where you are expected as the man, to hold your own. And I think people are very quick, and like I said, I mean, we were just joking around about it, but it actually, to me, it was indicative of what people were thinking, and people are very quick to make judgment calls based on what they are seeing on the surface. But I think, to your point around vision, it kept, I couldn't be bothered, because I knew what we were working towards, and if anything, I think we really had a lot of hindsight learnings from to the point that you've mentioned, from the fact that we actually went and spent not exorbitantly, relative to the time. We went and spent a lot on a wedding that was more for driving public perception, as opposed to it feeding into our journey. So sorry, I interjected while you were talking.
But I must say that one thing that I really respected about our parents is that they supported us. I remember my mom was saying, when we actually told her that we want to move back to Groblersdal, and she said, no, but why don't you guys move in, with us? And at first, I remember you a bit uncomfortable, because obviously, the cultural aspect of it, of Mukhonyan and whatnot. But I loved the fact that I remember my mom said, no, you guys are still young. Get your stuff together, move in. It's not saying just move back, and then plan your things, save up some money, so that when you guys are ready, I mean, remember she said from you guys, so just save up, and that's, I respected that. Hey, I loved my parents for that. But overall, like, even moving back home, it did not move us in any way. We had a vision, and we stuck to that vision, and we followed through. I just love, even now, I mean, in 2021, we are still pushing through. Yes, we have not arrived yet, but we're still pushing through. And that's because of the vision that, was laid, from the very beginning. We want so many things, and I thank God, even now, I don't know if I should share this, but I mean, we've managed to pay off our cars, we are working towards, paying off our houses, and like, I'm just so blessed. I feel like we're blessed. And I think one of the things also that I would advise people, especially when they're preparing to get married, the finances are so important. Don't get married, put together this huge wedding when the finances are not ready. I think that's the one thing that I regret. Like, we planned this wedding, and hey, we didn't think about the afterlife. Our savings and whatnot. I remember the time we moved to Midrand. Man, we still stayed. Hey, I said, now thinking about it, we were sleeping on a 3/4 bed. using my fridge from varsity, and a study table. That's all we had.
Yeah. But, and you touched on a very valid point, and allow me to I know I didn't pre-warn you around this.
Okay.
But I think you touched on a very valid point around finances and not putting ourselves under pressure to do things that we are not financially ready for. I mean, yes, granted, we didn't take any loans to finance the wedding, etc. But we definitely used money that we could have actually directed elsewhere. And I think, and I mean, without divulging unnecessary detail, but it's imperative, and unfortunately, it more often than not sits with ladies, where it almost becomes a balancing act between the fantasy or the fairy tale wedding that you've always had in mind, and you being willing to settle for something that might not match up to what you had in mind. But that being a bit of a delay in your gratification does not mean that it will not necessarily happen. And I remember we had the conversation around whether we should just get blessed and rather use the funds elsewhere, But I think ladies always have this thing of, I mean, I always waited for this moment. I didn't see myself, and I'm not saying it's all ladies. I never saw myself as just getting blessed, but that could just mean us just delaying the gratification for a future state where we can actually go big, So
I think sorry to interject there, but I think with me, I allowed so many, there were so many voices. We were talking, but then again, our parents were talking. You're the only son, and they want to see you, making this beautiful big wedding, whatever. And Naginalas Boni, and there was just so many expectations. And man, I felt a bit of pressure. Not even a bit. I felt the pressure. I'm not gonna lie. I felt the pressure that even when you and I spoke about, hey, how about we just get blessed and use this money, productively for other things and whatnot. That picture looked amazing. It was beautiful. But then again, the voices, you're just thinking, oh, what if I don't get married, go a white gown, and this is what I've been dreaming about, and what if maybe we just get blessed and then it never happens, and you're just so overwhelmed, and you don't have much time to make the decision. You just end up saying, you know what, no, I want a white wedding, and that's final.
Yeah, not true. So, but nonetheless, I think you touched on a valid point. Finances are very important. And going back to vision as well, and I said this is a journey. Marriage is a journey, and similar to vision as well. I mean, whenever you get to where you had dreamt to be, that is just an indication of your potential, and potential is always relative. Once you get there, you are thinking bigger, because the day that you stop dreaming and thinking bigger, then that's the day you stop living, in my view. So anyways, so to the point that I was trying to land is, when you look at when you take this analogy, hey, it's English, analogy. When you take this analogy of this being a journey as opposed to a destination, and let's use a winding road illustration to this. When you are driving on a winding road and you do not have a clear mind of where you are going, and often you might see an end a bend as the end of the journey, because you don't see what is around the corner, and I think what kept us going and what still keeps us going is even though we go through the curves and the bends, we persevere because we know that there's something else around the corner. You know, you don't see a bend as an end of your journey, you know. So that's critical for me, and I think that's what kept us and still keeps us going. And secondly, I think as well, guys, and I'll use an example that Mike Todd made, right, in his sermon. I think it was Crazier Faith, but it's a series, and he asked the question in terms of what environment does a flower flourish in, and he gave three options. And the first one, I think, was a vase. The second one was a bouquet, and the third one was in soil. And he said, you know, sometimes we look at the presentation as opposed to the environment, you know, that in as much as the flower might look good and well presented in a vase, you know, even though it might look very good and well packaged in a bouquet, you know, but it nonetheless thrives in soil, which is sometimes a dirty environment. It doesn't look as good, you know, as opposed to it being picked and being put in a bouquet. But the soil is the area where it's going to grow, you know. The environment is where it's going to grow. So don't be scared or then don't be put off by a little dirt, you know. And I'm not saying that to justify you not caring about the package, you know, but you need to be able to see beyond that, because sometimes and I'll call it out for ladies as well, you know, sometimes we look for made men, and that shouldn't be the case. You know, you should be looking to build together. And I might be in my soil environment, and you are looking at someone that is in a bouquet environment, and you're thinking, wow, that's so well packaged. That's Instagram. You know, we put bouquets on Instagram, but the soil, unfortunately, we don't share. Dirt. You know, and that's the process. You know, and that's where you get the biggest growth. You know, so yeah, that's really my parting thought around this. That understand the environment that you've been positioned in to thrive and grow.
There we go. There we go. Thank you so much, Mr.
Sounded
Matsepe.
like Emmanuel for a second. Emmanuel is our son.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for tuning in, and may the Lord bless you.
Be blessed.